All right, welcome to the third and well, hopefully last video on the mix of Huanastone's Bad Blood. We can start off with the drums. I'm gonna cycle with the in and out of the new rough mix then. So the rough mix now is from when the Mix 2 video was completed. I'm listening to the drums, so you can listen to whatever you want. But I'm about to explain what I've done, what I did to the drums. I'm gonna find a more hard-hitting part here, as usual. The time, never been alone, except for when you moan. I won't be there for you, girl. You're on your own. The time, never been alone, except for when you moan. I won't be there for you, girl. You're on your own. So, what I've done, I have compressed the kick drum. I'm gonna solo up the kick drum for you here. Those two mics that I have that were unprocessed, there were no plugins here except that one on these two tracks in the last video. So I've added this to the KU89. Good amount of compression, coming away sort of a lot actually at 645 hertz. Yeah, punchier, snappier, less boxy. And this is the KD12. Also compression and a bit of EQ from this. Yeah, adding a bit low end. Coming away a good amount at 500 hertz. And adding a little bit at 2K, 2.1K. So that helps, I think, to get the overall punchiness of the kick drum. I felt the kick drum wasn't poking through a lot, and I felt it was almost a bit weak sounding in the other mix. So let's listen to, I think I've done an addition, yes, I've actually done an additional cut here on the bass drum bus, the KD bus track. I have gotten rid of some 600 hertz as well. This one was actually already there. That was at 300 hertz or 270 hertz. But that's new. And I also got rid of the high pass. Well, that's what I did to the kick drum. The snare, I've added a de-esser actually to the KD bus. I feel he's hitting the snare drum really unevenly, or I mean, he's slamming it really hard, and it's an extremely hard snare drum to play when it's so low tuned. So if you're off maybe, let's say 5 or 10 centimeters or something, from the center of the drum head when you're hitting, you're gonna get totally different tones, and that's partly what we're hearing during the track here. And also I hear him making a few rim shots, and you get these like really sharp, fast spikes in the really high end. So the de-esser here is actually acting as a high frequency limiter. So I'm using this de-esser from FabFilter, and this time I have it set in split band, so it's only affecting the band that the sidechain has chosen. So I'm actually limiting from 3.6 kilohertz and up. And with this plugin, it has an automatic feature called single vocal that has a sort of a special detection circuitry where the threshold knob actually isn't required at all. So you need to have it in the all-round mode. Then it's acting as a traditional compressor, limiter, de-esser. I felt it got more control there and fewer surprises from the snare tracks. And then I've actually gotten rid of that Soothe plugin on the VK bus track, the one with the Oxford Evolution sustain and transient designer on. That's still on, but I actually got rid of all the others on the drum kit. The one on the Knä microphone and the ones on the Room and Livevox, and actually added a Soothe to the overall drum bus instead. I felt I was hearing a bit of weirdness from them. But that's it. I don't think I've actually changed any levels on them, on the tracks, but I can't really promise that, but I don't think I have. I replaced the compressor on the overhead mics to this Shadow Hills compressor instead. I felt this was a bit too aggressive and started to pump a bit. And this is smoother sounding, I think, and also feels like it's almost. I feel it's handling the transients better. Let's listen to what the Arouser did. Yeah, I like that. This is a faster attack thing, and it's also this optical compressor here on the high end, on the top end of the user interface here. That's a bit thicker sounding. A bit squashier, if you want. And then on the what have I done anything to the drum bus? Yes, I've added the Soothe. And I have added this. This is an interesting thing. That's not interesting. I just felt I wanted to have some air to the kit. So this is actually. You can look at the spectrogram actually, but you can't really always trust it. But I felt that this slope here at the very high end. That's sort of what I want to boost up. I don't want to get any of the actual information of the cymbals or, where they're harsh sounding or stuff. I just want to get some sort of air to basically just to the snare transients and everything like that. This is an upward expansion of the. There's one of the rings. There's a ring in the snare drum. I like that sound. I still would want to have it, but I was kind of wrestling myself there if I wanted to keep it or not. But this is a good middle ground, I think. How you do this in the plugin is that you lower it to the amount that you want, where you hear the ring goes away. And then you actually, the outer ring here of the plugin, or of the knob, you turn that up to the zero gain, the 0 dB position. That way it will actually automatically expand the transients, and then duck it down again. So you don't get the ring, any sustained notes there will be effectively, well, cut by the band there. But any transient within that, well, within this blue segment of the EQ will get expanded up again, and you will totally hear it. It's actually, I mean, when I upgraded to the Q3, the FabFilter Q3, I was actually fairly disappointed with the dynamic EQ feature, because I usually use it for dipping, and I feel I don't have enough control. I'd rather use like the Mac DSP AE600, even though this is a far more better user interface in the FabFilter plugin. But I feel that can actually show you that plugin that I'm talking about. Mac DSP AE600 Active EQ. This is, well, it's a really fiddly user interface, but at least you can sort of control everything here. You have the attack, ratio, release, threshold, and everything on all the different, on all the bands. On this one, you can basically just control the threshold and where you want it in frequency and how much you want to dip. But this, however, it's a great feature actually. I think it can work really. I mean, I can definitely hear this. I mean, I can hear this working, but you can actually set up, like if it was a mastering situation where you have an overly compressed mix or something, you could actually set this up in this upward expansion fashion, and well, it can do magic. I tell you. I hope I can show you an example of that in the future. So that's what I've done to the drums. The bass, this plugin here was like this before. I think I was fiddling around with that, and I usually want to have it at 0 there, in the standard position. So I just pulled that up there, got a little bit more, or actually I got 5 dB more of the sub-octave synthesis. You can see, I think you can see on the spectrogram here. Yeah. Of course, you should be able to hear it. I just wanted to show you on the spectrogram. But it definitely, I think it got you some good low end there. And I heard a little honk that got pronounced by this huge mid-range boost that I did with this EQ. So I zeroed that into the line channel. I added this dip. Yeah. I think I also added some level of it. Raised the level of the fader. Lead, I haven't done anything. Possibly, yeah, I think I lowered the level a bit. Backing vocals, nothing. This, the right main guitar, I have added this EQ. A little bit more low end. I mean, we're talking small changes here, and a little bit of the high end. I'm trying to find. Phrase this. These frequencies, I sort of don't want to hear super much of. There's a notch right here in the frequency band that we've been trying to deal with the soothe. So I sort of wanted to get it, because I wanted to get some, I wouldn't say air, but almost air, like in the guitar frequency language, but I wanted it a little bit brighter and a little bit thicker. And I have also changed this one here. I have taken away almost all of that 3.2K boost. I shifted the frequency of this one to 220, and I turned the high pass filter to 80 Hz. you'll be able to hear the guitar changes here if I play the intro. Yeah, a little nicer sounding. I've also done quite a bit to the second guitar parts. I felt I just actually got rid of all the other I just started off from scratch in this one because I didn't like the sound of it. So I'll actually, or am I going to do this? No, actually, maybe you want to hear what I've done here. So I did some EQ to the two microphones and turned those two off. I might have changed the levels there a bit, I'm not sure. So this track, yeah, we got a little lift in the high end, mid-range. The other track got a little dip there from the cymbals. Yeah, nice. So this is what they sound like, and without EQ. Yeah, a bit more focused and less cymbals. So I actually added this distortion pedal after this. Woo! Yeah. Well, this is what the guitar should have sounded like. I mean, it sounds sort of weird, not really like what a guitar pedal would sound like, or no, it sounds a bit weird if you're a guitarist. And I am a guitarist, but right now I'm a mixing engineer, so I'm just gonna have to go with the flow here. I really like this. This is an interesting sound, and in the mix, I don't think that you'll be sort of, hearing it like, did he put a guitar pedal plug-in on the guitar bus? You're just gonna hear it as a weirdly distorted, hopefully cool sounding guitar. And after that, I added a bit of 1.6K. I think it plays better there actually with the other guitar. And I have also done some work. The solo I have left alone. Maybe I've changed the level of it. I don't know. I added a compressor to it. Let's listen to the solo. It's doing a good job at leveling the solo, I think, and yeah, I probably could have lived without that, but it was bugging me a bit that it was sometimes was jumping out. It's not a huge amount of compression. That I mean, the LA2A compressors are really, I mean, I feel these are almost the only compressors that you can use, like when you can peg the VU meter down all the way and still get a sort of transparent sound of it. So I was maybe peaking at 5 dB there, and I mean it's definitely compression, but it's not a lot of like super obvious compression. Cool. Last thing I have done is I've added a plugin to the master bus, and I have changed the setting of this because this I had huge issues with on the other one. And it's still acting up. I've been talking to both Avid and Plugin Alliance about this. Still haven't gotten any response though, but I've let them know the issue. This was actually resetting, so every time I open it up, it has reset itself. But now it seems to be working, so let's keep our fingers crossed it'll hold. I've actually saved the setting here to Huana Mixbus. Yeah, okay. But that's probably where I wanted it. Yeah, okay. And I have added this mag. It's actually, I've added this before the compressor there. I mean, I generally want to, if I'm adding high end or if I'm cutting away mids, I want to do that before the compressor. If I'm adding a lot of low end though, I want to do that after the compressor, because that low end is going to make the compressor trigger on the low end, and I'd rather have it trigger on the full bandwidth material than just the kick drum and the bass. So I've added 2 dB at 10K, and I've added, or actually deducted, 0.5 dB at 650 Hertz. Let's listen to some place with vocals with this, I think.
Stuck in the nowhere, I think I've lost my mind. Vultures flying over me all the time. Never been alone, except for when you moan. I won't be.
Yeah, this makes it sound more like a record, kind of. I say that a lot, but I think it's a good term, although really fuzzy. But this makes it sound more like it's. You know, it's got the little gloss in the high end, no mid-range that's like poking out, and yeah.
Stuck in the nowhere, I think I've lost my mind. Vultures flying over me.
So that's it for the recap, I think. There's a few things I want to try out. I have this idea that I feel that it's the stereo image is a bit too tilted in the very beginning here. You know, the guitar on the far right and the drums and the bass in the center. So I'm gonna try to actually automate the pan on this bus here. Let's see. Right, did a little arrow there. I'm gonna center that. I'm gonna write that automation in. I really can't explain the Pro Tools automation thing. Maybe I'll do a separate video on that, but if you don't know what I'm talking about, there's tons of videos on that. So, and hopefully in the future, one more by me.
Feeling nocturnal, the Beatles stay
All right. Nudge that back to the... that's the one. It's the one, and it's also the one of the bar. One back. Cool. And I'm actually also gonna do a little thing here. Why do I always forget my key commands? There they are. I'm gonna automate the level of this pre-Mixbus track. Plus 1 dB. So I just raised this part of the track 1 dB. And then I'm gradually going down, I mean, really slowly during that little break. I think I like that. Cool. While we're at it, I think I've always been a little bit... The level of the guitar has always been bugging me a little bit. Because it almost feels like he's a bit too loud. Maybe that's not an issue now, because it's in mono now, so... I still want to have a listen to it. Sort of stuff here.
Stuck in the nowhere, lost in the fade, feeling nocturnal, libido stays. Stuck in the nowhere, lost in the fade, feeling nocturnal, libido stays the same. On and off again, you can't decide whether you should.
Yeah. The ending wasn't that good. I'm gonna pick that up.
Feeling nocturnal, libido stays the same. On and off again, you can't decide whether you should stay or run and hide.
Now, I'm gonna spend five minutes maximum. I've actually almost been hearing a conga there. Since we recorded this conga, I've almost, did we play conga there? So it's something, probably in the room mics and the drums or something that's had making me, feeling that I'm hearing a conga. But I'm gonna try to add a conga there. I'm just gonna take a little random event there. And where were we? We were in the riff part after first verse. Yeah, that was all just very random. Let's see here. I want that to enter onto so go. Gonna copy that, and I'm gonna place the marker with the down arrow on the keyboard. It's not always easy to get this right with all the delay compensation going. Actually gonna make a new track here. Bongos, riff 1. Pull that down there. To the top of the. Some more level. This is not recorded to a click, by the way, so I can't use the grid. I'm just gonna nudge it in here, see where I like it. That's one version. I feel that I might need to use the other conga performance though, the one that was more busy. This is more in a... It's too chopped up maybe. That part that should be a 1. So I'm gonna copy that and I'm gonna try to place that on a 1 in the beat. We're here and mute the other conga. Cool. Zoom in a bit on that. I'm gonna add this rhythmic. And then I just need to sort of time stretch this into the drums. Cool. That is tight enough. for what I'm gonna use it for. It can't be too tight. Or can it? I'm not sure. Yeah, I got excited about that. I'm gonna change this very ending here. That's a low conga. I want that to be there. So I copied that. Just tab transient. Make sure you have that button depressed. And you're gonna tab it to the transient and I cut it. Command E. Cut it. Command X. Tab to the other transient, the one that I want to replace, and Command V, replace it. And then I'm just gonna make a little crossfade there. Alright, let's level this and let's get rid of this track here. I won't be using that. Yeah, I like that actually. Yeah, I'm gonna live with that for a while. And I mean, if it's there, we're probably gonna want it on the second riff part as well. Works really even actually. I mean, without a click, that's actually extraordinary. Cool. If this was an actual mix that I was going to deliver to a client, I would have to make two of them, one with the conga, one without, because this is sort of an executive decision that I'm not sort of allowed to make, but you're definitely allowed to try it out and propose ideas. Actually, now while we're at it, I'm gonna listen to the percussion part. Not sure if we maybe need some room on that. That was I sent it off to the Cooper Time Cube. That's just two small delays, one to the left and one to the right. And it's 41 versus 56 milliseconds. And that gave me a cool sound, like a room tone on the vocals and the guitars. I'm not sure it's doing anything fantastic here, actually. But gives me some depth of field. I'm positive I won't be hearing this though in the mix. No, that's out of there. I'm gonna try to add this as one of my go-to for percussion. percussion if I want it brighter. Usually I don't want percussion brighter, actually. Usually it's the other way around, but these are recorded really dark. So, but let's see what this is an exciter. And what an exciter is, it's basically taking a part of the frequency, like with a bandpass filter, distorts it, and sends it back into the mix. So this all the way up will sound horrible. I will review it for you though. Something's happened with the Waves plugins in my computer. They're extremely slow. Can't even bypass it. Yeah, it's only when the plugin is open. When the user interface is open, it's probably a graphics bug. It's giving me a little more bite in the mid-range. I send that off to one of the reverbs, the Valhalla Vintage. I know I have that set up as like a short, really short reverb. Adding a lot of pre-delay to that gets you sort of like a slapback, and also you hear the reverb better with that. Cool. I think that sounded good. Yeah, it's better. You can hear some stereo information on the ambience. There's ambience on the tracks, but it's always going to be mono ambience on them. It's recorded with a mono mic. There is a thing I want to try out on the drums as well. Actually, mainly because I had this in the original mix of the track. I had a chamber reverb on the drums. So drums, Altiverb. I'm gonna return that through the drum bus. And this is gonna be one of the blue colors. So that's always the color of my effect returns. And let's get... And I want this in mono as well, because I feel that the drums belong in the center channel. I don't want to have too much stereo information on them. And I know there's I have a default here that's had a Pro Tools crash a few weeks ago that fucked up my default settings. So IRs, it's the Cello Studio and one of these chambers. I'm just feeding it from the snare bus as of now. So you're gonna listen to this part and stuff. Definitely the best sounding of those three. Let's see what that sounds like in the mix. Gonna put a little reverb gate in front of that. Really don't feel I need any sustain in there, and just for the fun of it, let's see what happens if you put a kick drum in there too. No. Stick with the snare. Maybe the overheads, I don't know. Yeah.
Over me all the time. Never been alone except for I won't be there for you.
I think it sounds cool. I want to hear the percussion parts. Actually, I wonder what that would sound like in the reverb. No. Cool. All right, so I think it's actually time to finish this off. I'm gonna do a few automation passes on this. Or actually, it's not gonna be passes, but I'm gonna automate. I think the vocal needs to be at a different level at some parts. These parts in the very ending needs more reverb. Is this leveled? I'm not sure. I'm gonna find out. Sounds fine.
Stuck in the nowhere, lost in the fade, feeling nocturnal, the beat stays the same. On and off again, you can't decide whether you should stay or run and hide. Cause you're stuck with bad blood. Cause you're stuck with bad blood.
The tag of the blood. I'm gonna get that off a bit. Right.
Cause you're stuck with bad blood. Cause you're stuck with bad blood. Cause you're stuck with bad blood. Stuck in the nowhere, I think I've lost my mind. Vultures flying over.
Yeah. Guitars. This guitar part needs to come down a bit.
Stuck in the nowhere. Stuck in the nowhere. I think I've lost my mind. Vultures flying over me all the time. Never been.
Yeah. Always forgetting about the delay compensation there. Trying to punch it in on time, or punch it out on time, but it's impossible.
All the time, never been alone, except for when you moan. I won't be there for you, girl. You're on your own.
Gonna do the Mixbus here.
Girl, you're on your own. 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 Cause you're stuck with bad blood.
It's actually, that's a bad choice.
I won't be there for you, girl. You're on your own.
I actually think I'm gonna get that all the way out to the across the solo actually.
Except for when you moan, I won't be there for you, girl, you're on your own.
Actually, what part did I automate the last time? I'm not sure actually. Feels weird to erase this part. Yeah.
For you, girl, you're on your own. 'Cause I'll be there for you. You're stuck with bad blood.
Cool. I am gonna ride the solo as well, so we're gonna put this in latch. I usually like latch actually. And yeah, let's go.
Bad blood.
Cool. I think that works fine. The ending of the solo, the riff part there. I'm gonna see if I can get some more level out of the guitars, both of the guitars actually. Like a dB or a dB and a half. So guitar bus 2, that's this one, yes. Can we get that automation enabled? I felt I could have done that even more actually. I'm gonna redo it. It's better. Same with the first guitar part. Fade that down a bit. Cool. Still liking it. Let's listen to this part. I automated the rhythm guitar bus here. I gained maybe a dB up towards the end of the middle 8 section or the breakdown section here. And I just punched that to the end of the recording then, so it's actually, well, what is it? It's at 0 there, and it's at 0.9 up. A little bit more guitar at the ending, and I'm gonna record automation from my master fader as well. Try to get the last riff and the outro section a little bit louder.
Cause you're stuck with bad
Cool. Punch that all the way out.
Cause you're stuck with bad Cause you're stuck with bad Cause you're stuck with bad
Alright, gonna set this to the Mix Galaxy, the Roland Space Echo clone. I'm gonna automate the level of that on the very ending here to get some more reverb. It's only on the vocals for this section, so that's what's gonna be affected.
Cause you're stuck with bad
Actually, bad move. I'm gonna do this.
Cause you're stuck with bad
Also a bad move.
Cause you're stuck with bad Cause you're stuck with bad Cause you're stuck with bad
Yep, that works towards till the end. Gonna ride the vocal fader or the vocal level a bit.
Cause you're stuck with bad Cause you're stuck with bad
Super bad move. I'm gonna shift that to trim or to touch mode instead of flash.
Cause you're stuck with bad Cause you're stuck with bad
I think it maybe just should gain, first of all, like 2 dB overall level or 1.5 or something.
Cause you're stuck with bad Cause you're stuck with bad Cause you're stuck with bad Cause you're stuck with bad
Cool. Gonna raise the level of the second guitar parts from the last riff and on.
Cause you're stuck with bad Cause you're stuck with bad
that all the way to the end, because this guitar is sort of carrying the rhythm figure, because he's going into feedback, distortion, weirdness land here in the ending. The other guitarist. I'm gonna regret and undo the Galaxy move there. I do not feel that I want to have it louder.
Cause you're stuck with bad blood. Cause you're stuck with bad blood. Cause you're stuck with bad Cause you're stuck with bad
Maybe a little automation here on the Galaxy. This might sound really weird, but we'll soon to find out. Because there's a few bars here where he's not singing that, you know, the hook line. See if I can get some feedback going on this one. Okay, that was a really bad idea. This is actually... no, fuck it. This wasn't set up to be automation enabled. So, what I'm gonna do here to reset this setting, because I have no idea where it was, and this is quite finicky setup. I'm gonna save this, I'm gonna import session data. I'm gonna find something. I don't know. Date modified today, so maybe 14, a couple of minutes back. I'm gonna choose the Galaxy, and I'm gonna import that to Galaxy. And hopefully we'll be getting the getting it back to where it was. And the automation is still there, yeah. Cool. So, get rid of the automation first. Then set this up to be automation enabled. And now we can do it again. Bad. We're gonna have to make it good though, better. So that's gonna need some level. Cool. Yeah. Sort of like it actually. I'm gonna see if there's a shortcut for if you want to display, because I want to see what this is doing in my automation lane. On any other plugin than except from the Universal Audios, you can hit Control, Command, and you just point and click on the parameter you want to have up here. But for some reason it doesn't work on the Universal Audio. It's really weird because they're, them being, the boutique plugin things, but they're not making it easy for us. See here, so we're gonna have to find it here instead. Echo Pan. Echo Pan. There it is. So. A longer pan. Cool. That's good. Getting rid of this part where he's stomping on the pedal. Actually, that sounds really cool, actually. It's this reverb. The reverb in his amps, and everything is sort of ringing out in that. I'm gonna get this one going again. Sorry, automation. Jesus. I'm just gonna make a temp group here. I'm gonna try to get rid of that little. So I'm gonna zoom in on this, and there it is. This actually works sometimes, although unfortunately not all the times. But if you do like that, and then a little crossfade there. That should leave him room to get a nice fade in the in mastering. I can actually hear it in the guitar drum mics as well. Little fade. Actually, let's just kill that track. Zoom back. I'm not sure this track needs to be there for the whole ending. Yeah, that should be cool. All right, I think we're done actually. At least done enough to print it and to say that this episode is over and this mix is over. The last thing we're going to do is to print it. Actually, there's one more thing I'm going to do. I usually do this. I have the start point and I have the end point set. Let's just make sure that the start point is good. The start point is good because I can see. Yeah, that's good. The end point is that the stop marker is long enough so that all reverb stuff can. Yeah, that's cool. Let's just do it like that to be sure. Then I select. We're gonna make a new playlist on my print track. That's gonna be called Bad Blood. Mix 1.0. There we have it. And I'm gonna place the marker here on that track. I'm gonna select that marker and I'm gonna hold Shift and select that marker. You can actually also do. You can see that the stop marker is 100. That's always 100 for me, so I can recall that. Comma 100, comma. Press down Shift, and you go to the first marker, which is always 1. Start marker, comma 1, comma, and there you have it. And then I'm gonna make a new marker. Just press the Enter on the numpad. That's gonna be called bounce. That's gonna be 1, 2, 3. That's always 1, 2, 3, and it's gonna be selection, and it's gonna be general. Yeah, I'm gonna zoom settings. That's cool. So, whenever I want to make a bounce, just press comma 1, 2, 3, comma, and we have the selection. And if I always bounce to this, all my bounces are going to be in the same place and they're going to be exactly as long, which can be good for when you have multiple revisions of tracks. So, I'm just going to hit record and we're going to print this track. Cool. Yeah, I've done better mixes. I've done far worse mixes. So I'm in all, I'm sort of happy with it. It's definitely at the place where I could, with a good conscience, send it off to the band for a mix review or for mix feedback. Still here, I might have a bit of ear fatigue here now. I've been sitting here for a good hour and 30 minutes, and actually 30 minutes before that with the first failed recording attempt here. But I feel that the cymbals are hurting my ears a bit, and I really don't like that feeling. So that would be my next attempt, probably in the Bad Blood mix version 1.2. But however, I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you find anything useful in it. And I'll be back hopefully soon with a new video.